Good morning, good morning. Today I thought I'd do an unboxing video. I've recently earned a new Thermomix and then we'll get started. So when you receive your Thermomix, it comes direct to you and it comes in an outer box, so it's protected. No one can see what's actually in the box, and they come direct to you unless you are local to me and you want it to come to me for whatever reason that might be. But the Thermomix will come direct to you. So you'll get it out of the box, you'll open it up like so, taking off this bit of black plastic, which I'll throw over here for now. And then what I suggest you do is to lower the box to the ground and lift everything out from there. I'll just cut it open here. Maybe you're starting with it on the ground anyway. Alright, this is exciting because this is the nice shiny new one for me. So, in this box is all your accessories. So, all your accessories come in here. There's a lid for the varoma. You get a spatula. So there's literally nothing that you need to buy. It comes with everything that you need. So we've got our spatula. We've got our high heat splash guard. So this is exclusive to the Tm6, this accessory. Our butterfly. The dish of your varoma. So the main part. The tray that goes in there. Get that measuring cup out, get rid of that box. So we have our complete varoma. And then our measuring cup, which goes into the lid of the machine as well. Alright, so they're the parts that come with it. Now the most exciting bit, of course, apart from the basic cookbook, and I'm going to keep that shiny new because I already have a copy of that, so I'll leave that aside. I don't need multiple copies of that one. Now, in the box you will have your manual. Please make sure when you order your Thermomix you read the manual and get familiar with it. Okay, and let's get the machine out. Alright, so just moving these accessories a bit further down the bench. So I'll open it this way, of course. So we take the plastic bag off it. All shiny new. Please make sure the first thing you do is to peel these blue stickers off the arms. They do not belong there, and if they're left there with time they will become hard to remove. So blue stickers are off, they are not part of the machine. And there's also a sticker over the screen. Peel that off as well, because if any moisture or product or food gets behind that, it can affect your screen. So take all those bits off. First thing we do is fully extend the cord. There's a little piece of red tape at the back, which you may be able to see just down there. So that means it's fully extended. And the reason why we fully extend the cord is because it can affect the scales. So you can push the cord in when you're transporting it or if you're not using it. Otherwise, please leave the cord out fully extended. And there we go. So when you first get your Thermomix, the lid is locked in, it's in transportation mode, and we need to basically switch it on to start loading up that software. And the other part of the first time you switch on your Tm6 is making sure that you do any updates that might have happened between it being shipped over from Europe to here. So it is beautiful, isn't it? When they're new, they're just so clean and shiny, and I'm very lucky as a consultant to have earned another machine. So I actually have 3. The other thing I like to say to customers, when you receive your Tm6, in the base of the box is this foam piece. If nothing else, can you keep that piece? And the reason being, if ever you need to transport your Thermomix anywhere, it's got the little holes to protect the scales where it sits. So you can sit it in that base, in the car, in the caravan, wherever you're going with it, and transport it safely. It'll protect the scales. So keep that piece if nothing else. You can get rid of it. So you'll see, let me move these bits out of the way for a minute. you'll see here that the software is doing the first load. So depending on certain, I don't know, areas maybe, it does take a little longer than others to go all the way around. And as I say, I encourage you very much to please read the manual. And it is only the front for us here in Australia or New Zealand. It's in English. And it's full of all the things you need to know and all the things you mustn't do as well. Because you are dealing with sharp blades and a kitchen appliance that heats up. So you need to be safe at all times. So please familiarise yourself with the manual there. Here we are, choose your language. So I'm going to pick English Australia because we are in Australia. Yes, Australia. And then we're going to search for the network. So now we're going to put in your Wi-Fi. So let me get my code. There it is. Someone moved it on me. All right. That's the one. And my tip is with that, when you're typing in your password for the first time, there's a little box to show the password. 100% do it, so then you're not retyping it in 50 times because you might have missed a letter or accidentally hit something else. LT. So yeah, you just type in. You can absolutely use your hotspot on your phone as well. I do that when I'm at markets and the like. Works perfectly good. So if you're out and about, if you're traveling around, you can use your hotspot off your phone. Just check. That looks right. Successfully connected. Good, I did a good job. All right, now, once that's done, hit the next button and it's going to want your Cookidoo login. So let me turn it around to do that because that's involved as well. Now, I might have to look it up on my phone. So you'll log into the Cookidoo. So before you get your machine, make sure you have registered with Cookidoo. You can get a free 30-day trial. And then when your machine arrives, it's just a matter of putting that same login into the machine, and it will then add on your 6-month subscription that comes with the TM6. Now, after 6 months, it is a subscription service like your Netflix, like your Spotify, $69 annually. And that way you can access every recipe in Vorwerk in the world, stay up to date, and no, oh, where's that gone? Different passwords for everything. You need to keep it on track of it, don't you? Might be that one. No, it's not that one. I know it's not that one. That one. Nope. Nope. So many. That's the one. All right. So again, show password so you don't muck it up. And of course, with your Cookidoo, you can share it with your family as well. So all my kids, even my dad, who has one of my old TM6s, is sharing my Cookidoo with me. So you can share it amongst your family. There we go. So welcome, and it's got my name on there. All done. So it's that simple just to get that part done. So then we have safety screens, and that is simply just telling you what you not to do. Now, read through those when you get your Thermomix. Make sure you're familiar with all of that. I'll go through it quickly. So it says the use of attachments or items not recommended or sold by Vorwerk may cause fire, electric shock or injury. To avoid burns, do not block this cover hole up here with anything other than what comes with it, okay? So I know there are a lot of companies out there who are making all sorts of fancy gadgets for Thermomix. Unless it is Volvet branded, don't touch it because it's not manufacturer approved and it could hurt you. So you've got all you need with it. You don't need to go out and buy anything extra. So in here too comes your simmer basket. I'll talk a bit about all the parts and what they do as I go. But the measuring cup just sits in the lid and it actually stays locked in now, which is so fantastic because years ago it used to fall out and you'd be making something like pasta sauce and it would go all over your kitchen, clank, clank, clank. Now it just stays nice and tight in the lid and it's just got that little lip part here and it's just a rocking motion to get it out. This lid is amazing. It's designed to allow things to drizzle in. So when you want to make your own mayonnaises, aiolis, you can just do all that there. You can even separate an egg using this lid. There are so many great functions for that. So when that's in there like this and the lights are red, it means it's hot. Think of this as a hot pot in a stove. You certainly wouldn't go touching it like this if it was a hot pot in a stove. Treat it the same. Just be safe. All right. If at some point you start to see things bubbling out of here, and there are two examples I can give you straight off where you don't need to panic, and one is pasta and the other is rice. Both starchy things, so the bubbles do tend to come up out of the lid a little bit. As long as they're not bubbling over, and you always would check and make sure you do not go over your max line in the bowl. So the bowl has a max line here. We never overfill the bowl. It's not safe. Go with the capacity of max and no more. And when we're using the high heat function now, we will use the splash guard instead of the measuring cup. It sits on top. And this is amazing because what it does is it allows ventilation, but stops any spits from the frying that's going on in the bowl. So the bowl goes up to 160 degrees now in a TM6, so it's a lot higher heat. So that protects us with that. Now sometimes a recipe might say put this on top, and generally that is for reduction, okay? So you've got a lot of liquid in there and we want to reduce that liquid, but we don't want anything splattering out as well. Please don't ever be tempted to swap this for this, and you can see plainly why. This will allow a full reduction to happen, this will hinder it. So it's just makes sense. Do what the instructions say, you can't go wrong, simply that. So sometimes this will be asked to be put on top of the lid as well. Okay, I have seen a melted Thermomix on a hob cooktop and I've got a flat one over there. Lack of space in the kitchen, you sit it on top of there, someone's accidentally leant on a button, melted the machine. So be wary of that sort of stuff. Also, if you're parking your machine next to your cooktop, just watch you're not putting your plastics on hot hobs and melting them, because that's a problem as well, obviously. This now comes with a lid to stop us from overstuffing it. This should sit comfortably within the bowl here. It lightly clicks down on the spine. It is lip to lip, so the lip of this bowl goes to the lip of this bowl. And how we remove it is with our hook on the spatula. I always recommend lifting the lid first, just so you can have less in the way when you're trying to maneuver what's in the bowl. You lift it out, tip it out, off you go. That basket is perfect for steaming harder veg like potatoes, sweet potato, pumpkin, also doing your rice. Best rice, fluffy, perfect every time. Okay, so next it says, do not go over that maximum line, the 2.2 litre bowl here. And you definitely don't want to go at high speeds when you're full, okay? So you can make a hell of a lot of food without going over the max line. Now the next instruction is about pulling the bowl apart and putting it back together. So beautiful shiny new bowl. Now the bowl has this little space underneath. That is for your fingers. And to the left of the handle, so everything is to the left, is a little symbol that looks like that. It's like a hazard hot symbol, you will see. That's the direction in which the base goes off. So fingers in here, heel of the hand on the ridges to help with traction, and off she comes like that, okay? And then when they're new, they're quite stiff and can be hard. I have a hairdressing pass. I've got a great grip from lots of blow drying over the years. The blades come out like that. While they're out, I like to show where the butterfly sits. So again, your blades are at all shapes and angles, and it is one set of blades does everything, which is my favourite thing. There's no chopping and changing of blades. This can mill a teaspoonful of linseeds into linseed flour. It can knead dough, it can do it all. It's sharp on one side, and that is on the right, and the back on the left is the blunt side. They're all different heights and angles for all different reasons. Very cleverly designed and made of solid steel, so they're going to last a long time. Now you'll see they all travel down except for this one that goes up, okay? This one here. And on the back of that one is actually a symbol of the blades engraved in. So to the left of that blade is where our butterfly sits, and it lightly locks in. So your butterfly is a delicate creature, so think of a delicate butterfly with its 4 wings. The maximum speed for this is 4, and it is written on the butterfly itself. Very faintly though, you may see that there. Okay, so it goes to the left of that tall blade, and it lightly locks in. So what does the butterfly do? It is your stand and stir. It is anything light and airy and fluffy. So pavlova, whipping cream, making butter. That was the first thing I did when I got my Thermomix, because I couldn't believe I could actually make butter in under 5 minutes, which I did. So there we go. The butterfly attachment goes there. So I do like to show that while it's out so you can see. Now, of course, safety, please reach out and remove it by the knobble on top. I'm sure it has a proper name, but I'm not sure of what, because I just call it that. And be wary of, on the right side, is super sharp. Please don't cut your fingers. So back into the base of the bowl it goes. Sometimes it can take a little bit of a jiggle to find its spot. And then taking your lip on the base back to that hot symbol, and then just putting it in. Now I'm very practiced. I make that look easy. You will be too once you have it and you play with it and get perfect at putting it back. All right, the next instruction is talking about just making sure whenever you're lifting anything, you are using the handles. So our steamer attachment on top, please always lift by the handles. Now we have vents all throughout the varoma, and you must make sure that there is access for the steam to come through these vents. So you'll see there's side vents on the tray up here. So never completely block those with food, and always leave space in your dish for the steam to travel up through here as well. Now there's a couple of ways of doing that. We do actually have, and I have one somewhere in my little Thermomix cupboard here. Here it is. So you can purchase a trivet. I think they're about $8. It's a stainless steel trivet, and it fits perfectly in that base there to lift everything off the base. You can also use something like cheap old wooden chopsticks from the Japanese takeaway. Okay, so you don't have to go and buy things like that. They're just there if you would like them. Some people have a thing about wanting to keep it off the plastic. We also have the little stainless steel tray that fits in there as well. So just a few options there for anyone who's bothered. This is European grade, BPA safe, polypropylene, blah, 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 whatever it is. Look, I'm quite happy to cook it on here. The other thing we have too is such as these, which are our varoma liners. So they're cut specifically to fit in the varoma, and you just wet this baking paper and use that. Makes cleaning up a bit easier, or just use your standard baking paper that you have at home. Okay, just a few different things out there that you can do to use in the varoma. All right, the other things we have for the varoma, which is exciting, is if you want to do steamed puddings. All right, we have these specifically designed duo pack on the mix shop of the round, which obviously fits in there to steam your puddings, and this one which fits on the tray. So you can make 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 puddings using those and steam them in there. So the sticky date, the sticky toffee, the lemon drizzle cakes, oh, there's so many things you can steam in there. So they're a great little thing to get as well. Now the other one we have are our egg poacher cups. So you can absolutely poach your eggs direct into the bowl. I'm not a poached egg girl, so I'm no expert on it. There are plenty of instructions of how to do it. if I'm doing it, I'm going to do it in my Varoma using these little cups because I just think it's going to be easier. So again, in the bottom, in the tray with the little cups. And you can also, I'm looking at these the other day and thinking I could make little steamed egg cups in there, you know, like a quiche type of thing, and have those for lunches. So yeah, there's all these different options of things you can do and gadgets on our Mix shop. When you're checking out, check them out, because there is some magic little accessories. So they're mostly the ones to do with the Varoma. Oh, there is the Dariel molds, but they're over there. They're a white one. There's those as well. All right, so your Varoma parts. This is the lid, this is the tray, and this is referred to as the dish. So the deeper part is the dish. So a recipe might say put something in the dish, something in the tray, and pop on the lid. Now again, remembering to lift that away from your face because of steam, it's hot, and by the handles. So the lid is actually designed to house that and act as a tray to catch the drips. So lifting by handles. When you take the jug out as well, be careful not to swiftly come forward onto yourself. Lift it out very carefully. Remember, when the lights are red, the temperature will be there. Think of it as a hot pot in a stove and treat it exactly the same. All right, the last instruction says, please read that manual. So a bit of bedtime reading, have a flick through. Don't be alarmed by the hazards. They're just things that sadly some people have done that are perhaps a little silly. Right, software update first. Waiting for that software to update may take a little minute, so we'll pop it aside. I wonder if I should just go ahead and do it in the other. No, I want to do it in my new one. I'll tell you what I do in the meantime is I'm going to just give the bowl a quick clean because it's brand new. So tiny drop of dishwashing liquid and water to about halfway. And I'm going to do it in my other machine just to show you how easy it is to do it in the machine. So while it's updating the software there, and taking a little bit of time, I'll just pop over to my other one. Now the most important thing with Thermomix 2 is one, don't drag your machine, lift it on the bench. The scales are built into the feet. And the other is making sure the pins underneath here are dry because they connect to the motor. Now I didn't wet them, so I'll confidently put it in my other machine. Put the measuring cup into the lid. And what I'll do is, it's hard for me to move the camera right now. I'll just move that over there a bit. Got all the ingredients ready to make the stock. Bring my other machine forward here. And all I do with that, you have got the pre-clean function, but this is a brand new bowl. There's no food cooked on it, so you can just give it a quick clean. So what I do is whack it round to speed 8. Stop it. Alright, so that was a total of 20 seconds. And all I do is put it into speed 8 and then hit the reverse button on the dial. So on the go dial here, there's a little symbol down the bottom. At the moment it's on the sharp symbol, which is the blades. And then you pop it into reverse, which is like a little arrow going around. Okay, so it just means the blades are going back, forward, and just gives it a good wash. So that is a nice, quick, easy wash, like that. When you have, 1, a clean new bowl, or 2, you haven't made anything that's terribly sticky. So, I don't know, stock, Fruity Dream, ice cream, anything that's not cooked and stuck to the bowl, just do a quick clean like that. Alright, I'll just rinse that out. Now when you purchase your Thermomix from me, I will also send you a care package, and in the care package will be one of my cheat sheets, which looks a bit like this, back here somewhere. There it is. So this is a little cheat sheet, and I pop a little magnet on it here for you, and it just gives you all the modes and a breakdown of the modes. It's got my details down the bottom, so you'll never lose me. I'm always there to look out and help you. And on the back, just chopping and all different functions that you might do, quick little things there. So I give those to my customers with a magnet, so you can pop it down the side or on the front of the fridge, wherever you would like it, but I'm always there to help. Plus you'll get a cleaning brush. Now mine's actually in the dishwasher. I throw it in the dishwasher. She's a little dirty. But I'll send you a brush. There's all different colours. So I'll send you a brush as well. So you've got a brush to help clean your machine, your bowl rather. So you just use the brush just to go around. It's not pretty, but it is functional. And then what you might need on top of that is something like, on the mix shop we have these little scrubbies. Ascara works as well. But these little reusable scrubbies, I buy these and then throw them in the wash. They're great if you've ever got a bit of stuff stuck on the bottom, just to get in and get it off. All right, so rinse that out. Rinse that off. And again, making sure the pins underneath here are dry because they connect to the motor. Remember the words, when it's needing, it needs you. That is a great saying. I was reminded of that recently. When the machine is kneading, it sort of goes back, forward, and it can do a little bit of a dance. So I wouldn't be walking away from it, or make sure it's right back on the bench before you go doing anything like that. The other thing I want to remind people about as well, so the likes of here, if I was to set it here and then steam, you need to watch your cupboards as well. So I would put on the fan to help the steam move away. I'm very lucky to have this position here right next to a window, which isn't entirely open. I might open it because I'm getting a bit hot. And so the steam's going out the window. But be mindful, if your beautiful kitchen has beautiful cupboards above, just make sure you're wiping under there or putting it near the fan so the vent will take the moisture from steaming away, because you don't want to ruin your beautiful kitchen cupboards. All right, so we're still software updating. This will take a little minute. So what I'm making today is chicken stock paste, and I am a bit of a fan of the Skinnymixer one. So if you're not familiar with Skinnymixers, there's a big Facebook group. It's massive. Her recipes are lovely. She's not a consultant. She is not affiliated with Thermomix. She just makes Thermomix recipes. Some of her recipes are on Cookidoo. I quite love her stock concentrate and do the chicken version of it. It's very similar to the Thermomix one. You can absolutely do that. The Thermomix one asks for wine. Hers has apple cider vinegar. That's pretty much the difference. So I'm going to do that. I've actually pulled a leek from the garden. So you know when you buy your spring onions and your leeks and they have a little bit of root on the bottom of them, sprout them, stick them in the garden and regrow. Look at that. I've got two, but I've just bought one in for the stock. So I might just give that a wash while we're going. Take off those couple of rough outer leaves. So that leek has cost me once and provided for me twice, that's always a good thing, right? So I'm going to get everything prepped and ready for this stock because we're still doing the update there. And my internet here is pretty average, so I expect that will take a little minute. So yeah, just clean up your leek. Give your veggies a wash. I do say do not bother cutting off or peeling carrots. Don't bother doing that. You absolutely do not need to do that. I'll take off those ends, they look a bit yucky. Because if we knew what was in the stock we bought from the shop, we probably would not eat it, to be honest. So for stock, you just roughly chop up things. It doesn't have to be perfect. Dry a bit out. And that bit there. Now, I this morning got up and went, oh, I haven't got celery. And then I remembered that I was going away somewhere and I had some celery left over and I froze it. So, don't be afraid. It doesn't look so pretty anymore. It's been frozen. It works exactly the same though. So don't be afraid to not waste your veggies. Chuck them in the freezer. And then when you need them for your stock, you've got them there ready to go. So that is celery ready to go for stock. And I didn't have, I've got herbs in my garden, so I've just gone and picked some beautiful herbs from the garden, which I'll put in. And my tiny little bits of basil there. I've been raiding my basil lately, so I'm just needing to give it a break. It needs a tomato in this. This is one that's a bit crinkly and had it, so I'm going to use that, and it's just cut in half. I've got a carrot that looks a little sad. I'm just going to make sure she's nice and clean, and I'll use the carrot in place of the zucchini. I will just cut that bit off, but the rest of it's fine. So perfectly fine carrot, just cut that into chunks. Right, that's ready to go, and then onion peeled and quartered. So, oh, here we are, we're done. So I'll ask you, there we go, we're all in and all set up, just like that. So it's quite quick and easy and simple. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to do this. However, if you want me to step you through it, if you want to purchase a Thermomix and I step you through this whole unboxing process, 100%, that's part of the deal. Most people go, yeah, I'm good, don't need you. Some do. All right, so this is a manual recipe. Oh, let me fix my angle of the screen here. Come back a bit. I did turn it around a little bit. Oh. Okay, so, yep, there's no other questions I think I've missed. If there is, just fire them at me again or send me a DM. So with your machine, okay, so just so you know, we swipe this way, we've got all the functions. So as I was saying earlier, when we first got the machine, there was, I think, let's guess, 2, 4, 6, 8 functions. And we now have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 functions. So that's how much more has come to the TM6 since its launch. The latest function that has been added is our blade cover peeler function. If you go search my videos, you'll see my most viewed video is about the blade cover peeler. This actually is, you know, not sharp to touch. So it literally just scrapes off the edge of the potato. When you peel with a hand peeler, you're taking a great chunk of potato with you as well. So to each their own. If you want a hand peel, go for your life. I'd rather stick it in here and do it. This also is used for sous vide cooking and slow cooking. So they're two other functions that we have in the TM6. And it literally just goes in on top of the blades, clicks down on top, and turns it into a saucepan of sorts. So it keeps everything up off the blades, okay? So that is an extra attachment that you can purchase as well if you want it. If you don't get it. But that works with the peeler mode on the machine, but also slow cooking and sous vide. All right, so it is a good little attachment to have. So on your function screens, we've got our built-in scales. So the scales go in 1 gram increments, and they're super delicate to the touch. They'll go up and down just with a tickle of the machine. If someone or something is resting on the cord, it will go up and down, up and down. If something is leaning up against the machine, it'll go up and down, up and down. They're very sensitive, but tear is your friend. So the green button down the bottom brings it back to 0. When they first come, they might go minus 0.1, minus 0.1. There's usually a settling period because it's been in transportation. But there we go, it's at 0, and then I've leant on the bench. See if I lean on the bench, it goes up and down. They're extremely sensitive. But the wonderful thing about the scales is as well, in previous machines we're in 5 and 10 gram increments. So we would have been always over and under, and none the wiser, it still works. So don't let it stress you out. It's perfectly fine and will forgive you and be a wonderful thing. Dough function here, that's kneading. So if you've searched up a bread recipe that isn't on Cookidoo, it will bring up the dough function for you. Turbo, now with turbo your lid must be on before you hit turbo. It is like pulse on a blender. Instant top speed, it will lock it into place. There is a ½ second, a 1 second and a 2 second turbo. It is set standard at 1 second and it sounds like this. Instant top speed, perfect for mincing meat, crushing ice, making bliss balls. So if you want to put in all your ingredients, turbo it maybe once, twice, 3 times, maybe 4 seconds, and you'll have the mix ready to make bliss balls, right? So for turbo, you have to hit the home button to come out of there and for it to unlock. Pure safety feature. Pre-clean, this is when you've cooked and you want to clean the machine. There is instructions there. The most important thing to note is when you use browning, you must use vinegar, not detergent. So if you've used this, you need some of this. Okay, cheap old white vinegar and water. Cleans it absolutely like brand new. Helps lift off anything stuck on the bottom. And then simply after you've done that brown and clean, you grab your little scrubby and give it a scrub. Simple as that. The others, you will use a tiny drop of dishwashing liquid and water. It is a pre-clean, so you might then need to get your brush or chuck it in the dishwasher. This goes in the dishwasher, just not this part, okay? And that is a thing. All right, so every little mode has a little information button, which is here. Once you get all over that information, you can say, don't show me again, but it will always be here for you if you need it. It just means that until you hit that, don't show me again, it will appear first thing when you turn on that function. So once you're all over it, don't show me again, but hit the little eye up the top here and it'll always be there. Okay, then we have blend. Blend is soups, smoothies and purees. Okay, and it's automated. You just set the time and the speed rather, is it? Hang on. Oh no, set your time and your speed and blend away. Okay, and again, information button will tell you all about that mode as well. Okay, then we have my favourite, the egg boiler mode. So this is amazing. You choose how you want your eggs. You get them from the fridge. You put about 1 litre of water in here, and there is a marking up the side of the bowl that says 1 litre. And you simply will, let me just dry this bowl. See, when you flick you might see some moisture around the side. When you flick it up to top speed, any water that's around the blades will flick off the side. There's another tip around that, which I've got for you as well. All right, so egg boiler, 2 to 6 eggs. We have done 8 and it's worked fine. 1 litre of water, and you just choose how you like your eggs. And with the egg boiler mode, it is so quiet because the blades actually don't move. So that's it going now. Silence. Maybe you can hear my fan in the background here. I'll stop that because there's nothing in there. So pressing the button just stops that. So that's the egg boiler mode. Directly in there, blades don't move. Previously we would boil our eggs in here. We don't need to do that anymore. We can do it inside the bowl. Kettle, literally a kettle. You can boil water to a specific temperature. Great for any tea drinkers out there who might only want it to 60 degrees. Warm up is reheating things like soups, baby food, etc. to a specific temperature, which is wonderful. Thicken and rice cooker are through Cookidoo. Thicken and is custards, bechamel, hollandaise sauce, all those things that require stirring and attention. The machine just gets it perfect every time. I'm a very confident cook. I am not shy of making a good bechamel on the stovetop. I have not done it since I've had a Thermomix because it is just throw it in, let it do its thing. It's intuitive. It goes around, it gives you approximate time, and it is perfect every time. Silky, shiny, beautiful, smooth bechamel, no lumps. Rice cooker is absorption method within the bowl, but you can also do rice steamed in the basket, which is my absolute favourite. Fermentation. So fermentation is 2 ways of doing that. Using your varoma, so your lid will go on. One-handed rock of the cup out. So we leave the measuring cup off, the aroma goes on, and you can do pot set yogurt. So we have these little jars on the mix shop, if you want to, or any jars with a lid will work. You load them all up in there without the tray, and it's an overnight job. So what goes in as a thin liquid comes out as thick, creamy, beautiful yogurt. The recipe's all there for you. It's pretty simple to do. Foolproof and delicious, and you can make coconut yogurts, you can make all sorts of yogurts. Anything you would ferment, there are recipes for the fermentation mode on Cookidoo, which you can go and check out and get familiar with. Alright, so fermenting, and then we have slow cook. So it is a literal slow cooker, so you can cook for up to 8 hours. So in our TM5s, we would have to set the timer to 99 minutes, let it go, come back, reset it. In here, it goes for up to 8 hours. And then sous vide, which is, if you're not vegetarian, makes the best salmon, steak. You can scramble eggs, sous vide, you can do all sorts of things. It's amazing. And then the last function is your peeler mode. So this is to do with the blade cover peeler. Peeling potatoes. All right, so time to make the stock concentrate. So There are recipes for this on Cookidoo. I'm going with my recipe I love, which is from Skinnymixers. It is in her latest barbecue cookbook, but I think it's in most of her cookbooks. It might even be free on her blog, skinnymixers.com, I think it is. Search it up, you'll find it. She has some amazing recipes. And now, so let's get going. So the first thing it's saying is add the meat. Now I've got that in the fridge using my other favourite thing from the mix shop, these little airtight silicone lids. So they're reusable and they just literally sucker onto the lid instead of Glad wrap or whatever. So there's my diced chicken ready to go. So I'll put that aside. So it says 200 grams. So I'm going to swipe over and bring up my scales and just weigh in 200 grams. Oh, it's over, isn't it? Okay, so I'll take out some and cook it for my lunch. 224, yeah, that piece will do it. 200, oh, spot on. Right, lid back on and back in the fridge that goes. Now the first step is mincing that up. So what does her instructions say? Add the meat, chop for 10 seconds, speed 8, MC on. So let's do it that way. That is another way of mincing, but you can turbo. Actually, no, let's turbo. We're here. Let's do it. All right, so turbo, I'll leave it at a 1 second turbo. I'll have a sneaky peek. That looks done. All right, so come out of turbo. 3 seconds. Chicken mince. Buy the stuff and make it yourself. All right, so that's that done. Vegetables, herbs, spices and vinegar goes in next. All right, so I'll bring up the scales and it wants 100 grams of celery roughly chopped. So there's one thing with a thermi, you tend to get to the point where you sort of, you know, the rough amounts as well once you get used to it. So there we go, 100 grams. I'll stick that back in the freezer for another day. What have we got next? One zucchini I don't have, so I'll just put the carrot in place of that. And then the leek goes in, 100 grams. I'll put a little extra because I love it. I do love it, I'm obsessed with leek. It's a divine flavour. Onion. Tomato. And then some garlic. I haven't got that ready. And the herbs as well. So here's the herbs from my garden. Just chuck them in. This stock is in place of stock cubes. It's in place of liquid stock. So 2 tablespoons of this makes a litre of liquid stock. So definitely worth having. I freeze this, and with the salt in there is the preservative. Lasts for ages in the freezer. And what I do is scoop it straight from the freezer. It actually doesn't go solid, obviously because of the salt. So you can just get it direct out of the freezer. You've always got fresh stock and you know what's in it. Right. How many did she say? Yeah, 5 garlic cloves. Yeah, I think the Thermomix one says 1. I don't usually put 1 in anything. Anyone else love garlic? Right, chicken stock paste. If you haven't made it, unless you're vegetarian, please make it. It's amazing. All right, now what else do we have to add to this? Herbs, spices, and the vinegar. So 3 black peppercorns have got to go in. Where's my little peppercorn jar? Oh, there it is, hiding there. So 3 little peppercorns. 1, 2, 3. Oh, a dry bay leaf as well. And the apple cider vinegar, which is 30 grams of apple cider vinegar goes in. So just hit tear. Oh, that went quick. That's it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is chop it for 15 seconds, speed 8. Home button. So I'll set it for 15. Speed 8. specifically designed to go through the lid and help stir things along, just in case you didn't know that. Has this ring here which not only keeps it off the bench, but allows it to do that. So all the stuff I threw in there is now obliterated, okay? Chopped down to mush, and now we're going to add in the salt. Oh gosh, I've got to change the settings. When you get your new Thermomix, settings, sounds, turn it to 10 seconds and turn it down to low. And you can change the tune. I'm going to put it on the guitar. I like the guitar. Okay, so back to this now. We're going to add in, bring up the scales, swiping over, and we're going to add in the salt. So we put in a lot of salt in this. It's 150 grams. The salt is a preservative, and also it is equivalent to 1 tablespoon of this is the same as 1 shop bought stock cube. So if you went around licking your stock cubes from the shops, you'd probably be like that. You don't eat this. This is a flavour bomb. It's a stock, okay? And it's a concentrate. Add the salt and 50 grams of water. So your measuring cup has 2 markers in it. One is 50, one is 100. So just do that. All right. And then salt and water, cook for 30 minutes, steaming temp, speed 2. So that is setting it for 30 minutes, not 30 seconds, Rebecca. Steaming temp is Varoma, speed 2, 2. 30 minutes, steaming temp, speed 2, MC off, measuring basket, simmering basket on the top. So again, what I have said before is this will allow reduction, okay? But stop any splatter coming out. So, at that step, I'm going to leave you guys. I have unboxed a new Tm6, which is very exciting. I've got 2 back on the bench. I've only had 1 for a while and it's been a bit hard. Thank you for joining. Again, if you have any questions, reach out, send me a message. I'm very approachable. I'm happy to show you anything you want to see in detail anytime. Just let me know. If you're wanting a Thermomix, the link is there.